back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and like and subscribe for more interesting fights next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Hisoka, the second deadliest fictional clown, just ahead of Pennywise and the Joker, and a little behind the top dog, Ronald McDonald. Paying hundreds of thousands of people a starvation wage is way deadlier than bubblegum and playing cards.
Name a Hubba Bubba. It's soft, juicy, and delicious. Hubba Bubba lets you blow great fat bubbles.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to get icky and sticky, with gum that sticks to people and makes them easier to kill. Next, we need some bamboozlery, with ways to trick people with images that aren't true, they're fakey. Finally, we need to be really good at fighting. Obscenely good at fighting, actually, like pretty much unable to lose in a fight against a humanoid fighting. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Dexterity will be number 1. Not only is your bungee gum made out of rubber, you're also kind of made of rubber. People aren't supposed to move like that. Intelligence next. You know all about Nen before you even became a hunter. Honestly, you just became a hunter to find other hunters to hunt. You're the hunter. Wisdom will help you with that, with perception and survival skills to hunt people down. Follow that up with Constitution. Concentrating on keeping your Nen up is important and can be difficult when a child is throwing 1,000 punches a second at your face. Charisma is a bit low. You're kind of creepy, so Intimidation is all we need, and we'll dump Strength. Your cards are thrown with Finesse, and your fists are thrown with Martial Arts. Speaking of hands, variant humans can have hands made out of gum at level 1 thanks to the telekinetic feat. That lets you add 1 to your intelligence score if that's the score you want to add it to, and gives you the Mage Hand cantrip, which lets you move objects weighing 10 pounds or less with a floating spectral hand. Yours is also invisible, but I suppose creatures with true sight might still be able to see your Nen. You also get to telepathically push or pull a creature as a bonus action, forcing a strength saving throw on them and moving them 5 feet closer or further from you as you yoink people in. Bump your dexterity and intelligence with your 2 free points, take perception for your skill of choice, and whatever background for intimidation and deception. I'm gonna be real, I don't care much about backgrounds. That's up to you when you make this character your own at home. Especially since literally every skill I want for Hisoka is on the rogue list. Starting as a rogue gives you 4 of them, like athletics, acrobatics, sleight of hand, and stealth. If you want an official background, or if your DM demands one because they're not fun, it should be pretty easy to cobble one together that fits. Expertise lets you double your proficiency bonus with 2 skills like athletics and sleight of hand. I want your sleight of hand to be silly levels of high, and expertise in athletics means that even though we dumped strength, we kinda didn't. You still have +3 to your athletics at this level and +11 by the end of things. That's the same as a fighter who capped strength at level 20. Clowns gotta be funny, right? Or terrifying. Like with a sneak attack. That adds a d6 of extra damage to 1 attack per round as long as you have advantage on the roll or an ally within 5 feet of the target. You need to be using a finesse or ranged weapon, which doesn't include your fists or playing cards. Playing cards are improvised weapons that have to be reflavored to be something like a dagger, and your DM has to approve of that. Unless you bungee gum over to monk. Then you get martial arts, which lets you use monk weapons using your dexterity modifier. A monk weapon is a reflavored simple melee weapon that's not heavy or two-handed. Dagger fits that bill. Sure, it can be thrown, but that's fine. Martial arts also lets you use your dexterity modifier for your unarmed attacks and make one as a bonus action after you make one with your action, or make an attack with a monk weapon. None of that works if you're wearing armor, so you'll want to take advantage of your unarmored defense. Make your AC 10 plus your dexterity and wisdom modifier when you're not wearing armor. Clowns always stay light on their feet, even when they wear heavy, giant shoes that are specifically not light on their feet. Second level monks get key points they can use to do cool clown stuff like Step of the Wind, letting you dash or disengage as a bonus action and double your jump distance to make up for your lower strength score. Patient Defense lets you dodge as a bonus action to bend around like something stretchy. Pasta dough. Flurry of Blows lets you make 2 unarmed attacks instead of 1 with your bonus action, giving you 3 attacks per round if you want them. Though really, Hisoka kinda just waits to hit someone once and then absolutely destroys them. Too bad that's not an option in D&D. You also get unarmored movement to move faster when you're not wearing armor. You need to stay at the front of the hunter pack to make sure Tampa doesn't trick you into pooping your pants. Third level monks can deflect missiles, letting you reduce the damage from incoming ranged attacks by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier and monk level as a reaction. If you drop that down to 0, you can even bounce it back with a key point. Your rubber, their glue, whatever they throw at you will bounce off and stick to their chest cavity. You can also pick a martial archetype, and the Drunken Master is really fun. It's not what I'm doing though, because 4 elements monks get an elemental discipline, and Water Whip lets you force a dexterity saving throw on a creature, dealing 3d10 bludgeoning damage damage to them if they fail and knocking them prone or pulling them 25 feet closer to you. Half damage and no movement if they succeed. With 2 key points, you can't do it as often as the telekinetic bungee gum, but it does more damage because it does an amount of damage. 4th level monks get an ability score improvement. Dexterity will be our top priority. It makes your attacks more accurate and makes them deal more damage. That's important if you want to be the best fighter in the world. Slow fall lets you reduce falling damage by 5 times your monk level as a reaction. Just bungee gum to the ceiling and you're like Spider-Man, but scary. Do I want extra attack? Sure. Do I need it? Not really. So we'll jump back over to Rogue now for cunning action, letting you dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action. That should help you save your key points for that ouchie bungee gum. 3rd level rogues can choose a roguish archetype, and Arcane Trickster is perfect for a murderous magician, making you a mage hand legitor main, letting you control your mage hand with a bonus action, pick pockets with it, slip items into pockets with it, or pick locks with it using sleight of hand checks. Also, telekinetic says that you can add 30 feet of range to your mage hand if you already know it, and mage hand is automatic from Arcane Trickster, so I think you get that. Not sure, kind of hard to look up. In my game you do if you don't just grab a different feat at the start and pick up telekinetic with an ability score improvement later. You also get 2 more cantrips like minor illusion to create a small visual illusion that fits into a 5-foot cube, or an audible illusion as loud as a shout. Make someone catch these hands with an illusory hand. Prestidigitation does a bunch of small things, cleaning stuff, dirtying stuff, but I want to make tiny objects to befuddle and confound my enemies. Very first level spells, 2 have to be from the illusion or enchantment schools, so Charm Person forces a wisdom saving throw on a creature, charming them for an hour if they fail. Not mind control, but it will give you advantage on charisma checks with them and help you lie or terrify people more often. Illusory script makes some text that looks like one thing to one person and other things to other people. You regularly betray good guys, bad guys, pretty much everyone. Lying on a contract is fun. Shield adds 5 to your AC as a reaction. It's a surprising texture when you were expecting to hit. As if all that weren't enough, your sneak attack bumps up to 2d6, and if that wasn't enough, steady aim lets you give yourself advantage on a weapon attack as a bonus action. If you don't move that round, you shouldn't have to. That's how good you are at fighting. 4th level rogues get another ability score improvement, letting you camp off your dexterity modifier for the best sleight of hand possible and the best slamming of hands with your martial arts. 5th level rogues get uncanny dodge, letting you reduce damage from an incoming attack by half as a reaction as long as you can see the source. With this, shield spell slots, patient defense, and deflect missiles, you have so many ways to reduce incoming damage. I don't really know how durable Hisoka is because he kinda just never gets hit. He does hit other people with 3d6 sneak attack damage though that only works with your reflavored daggered cards, not your unarmed attacks, unfortunately. Just because they fit the definition of finesse does not make them finesse. 6th level rogues get another set of expertise. This time let's pick perception and acrobatics. High passive perception will stop people from sneaking up on you, and high acrobatics will make sure no one can grapple you. Athletics would also do that, but your acrobatics will be 6 points higher now, so that's a little more consistent. 7th level rogues get evasion, letting you take half damage from failed dex saves and no damage from successful ones, no reaction required. That means anyone shooting missiles at you won't be able to kill you, not that you'll have to deal with that. You weren't even in the Chimera Antark. Your sneak attack also bumps up to 4d6, and just in time to get busted with a 2nd level spell. Hold person forces a wisdom saving throw on a humanoid. Failing that, they're paralyzed for up to a minute depending on your concentration. That means when you lock someone down with bungee gum, you automatically critically hit with your sneak attack for 8d6 sneak attack damage. It's the most bonkers part of being an arcane trickster. Oh, also, they can't move or attack you while they're paralyzed, so you know, that's pretty good. 8th level rogues get another ability score improvement. Start working on your intelligence modifier since most of your bungee gum uses that rather than your wisdom. You can also learn another spell like mirror image. Create 3 illusory duplicates of yourself that will take damage for you. When someone attacks, roll a d20. On a 6 or higher, they hit one of 3 duplicates. On an 8 or higher, they hit one of 2 duplicates, or on an 11 or higher if you only have 1 duplicate left. It's supposed to be full-on doppelgangers, but I think you could just make an extra hand for people to shoot. That would count too. 9th level arcane tricksters get magical ambush, giving creatures you're hidden from disadvantage on saving throws against your spells, making sure you get that bungee gum attached for a string of nasty critical hits. Specifically 10d6 or 5d6 if you don't critically hit your sneak attack for some reason. 10th level rogues get another ability score improvement. Cap off your intelligence this time, so your bungee gum will be movie theater floor levels of sticky. 11th level rogues get reliable talent, meaning the lowest you can roll on a skill check you're proficient with is a 10. Then you add your modifier, which is a 21 minimum stealth check. Important because that's what you need to stay hidden and get advantage with magical ambush. That should be pretty darn consistent. That's kind of the point of reliable talent. The reliability. 6d6 sneak attack is also pretty reliable, but 12d6 with a critical hit is even more reliable. 12th level rogues get another ability score improvement. Bump that wisdom modifier for better AC and damage dealing bungee gums. Worth noting, paralyzed creatures also automatically fail dexterity saving throws, so that 3d10 water whip is guaranteed. It's not as good as 12d6 sneak attack damage though, so I'd stick with that. 13th level arcane tricksters are versatile tricksters, letting you use a bonus action to distract creatures with your bungee gum mage hand and get advantage on attacks against them. I'll be honest, the only way this is better than steady aim is that you can still move on the rest of your turn. turn. Steady aim kinda nerfed this a little bit. You also get 7d6 sneak attack damage though, and a 3rd level spell like Fear that forces a wisdom saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot cone. Failing that, they're frightened of you and have to use their action to dash away. It's gonna be pretty rare that you find yourself outmatched, but just really play up the murder clown thing, and maybe you can just make the person bail. 14th level rogues get blind sense, letting you know the presence of any invisible or hidden creatures within 10 feet of you, so if Gon wants to steal your badge, he's gonna have to cast that fishing rod extra far. 15th level rogues get slippery mind, giving you proficiency with wisdom saving throws. That means that you're not gonna get stuck in anyone else's bungee gum. Between that and charm person, you're kind of every reason you need a high wisdom saving throw rolled into one. And speaking of hold person, your sneak attack bumps up to 8d6 extra damage or 16d6 with a critical hit. Our capstone is the 16th level of rogue for one last ability score improvement. Since we have an odd wisdom score at the moment, let's just grab the observant feat, adding 1 to your wisdom score, 5 to your passive perception, and letting you read lips. With this and expertise in perception, your passive perception is 30. Nobody can sneak up on you without rolling a 30 stealth check. That's nice. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, against humanoids, you're pretty much unbeatable, with hold person and sneak attack forming an unbreakable combo that will help you deal big damage while immobilizing your enemy. You're also great at keeping damage off. With shield, deflect missiles, patient defense, uncanny dodge, and evasion, you're a very bendy boy. Finally, your skills are amazing, with reliable talent making you basically foolproof with 7 skills. For weaknesses, you don't have a ton of health, with a little over 120 depending on how you rolled, so if damage gets through, it won't take much. You're also much less effective against non-human enemies, since hold person doesn't work on any non-humanoids. Finally, you're kind of a mad clown, multi-ability dependent, meaning that we couldn't get higher wisdom to make this work. Constitution and charisma and strength also wouldn't be bad, but you're also not bad. Even non-humanoids will be taking 8d6 sneak attack damage per round from you. Attach your gum, fight dirty, and kill every one of the strongest fighters in single combat. Just watch out for someone who can actually land a punch. Otherwise, you could end up dead and gone. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.